Hello guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to go over why most Amazon businesses actually fail as soon as they start up. So we're going to be talking about launching your product, why it's so important, and actually breaking down the numbers of what it means when you can't launch your product, you can't get it to that first page. And it's kind of why there's a big misconception about how Amazon works and how to launch your product. And it's probably going to be quite a heated video, to be honest guys. Probably going to go on a bit of a rant here because it's a very serious topic for me because I've actually experienced this before. I'm just seeing so many people go through the same process of investing thousands of pounds and almost being naive to the fact of what they're getting themselves into and not treating Amazon like an actual business and just thinking that it is a get-rich-quick scheme. It is something you can just put your money in and just get it straight back out at 30-40% profit, which is definitely not. And it's these kind of factors that make it very frustrating to see this happen time and time again, over and over. So yeah, we're just going to go through that, probably be a bit of a rant, go into the numbers. I hope you enjoy it guys, let's get into it. So guys, why do most Amazon businesses actually fail within the first maybe month or two of actually launching their products? And it's very simple, and this is why I said before that it's very frustrating to see this happen time and time again. And to be honest, I just think it's because most people don't talk very honestly about it and what it actually entails to launch a product and why that's the hardest phase. You see there's so many videos guys on YouTube about finding a product research, doing all these kind of things, contacting suppliers and doing all of that. But when it comes to PPC and launching, the hardest part that most people actually fail on, that's the bit that there isn't that much information on. And that's the bit where you're actually getting to the stage of losing money. It's all good to talk about product research and finding a product when there's nothing really at stake. But when there's thousands of pounds at stake, if you can launch a product to that first page or not, when your savings are on the line, that's when it becomes very serious to actually get it right and almost like invest in what you're talking about, what you're learning, just to get it right. Because if you do mess it up, you are going to lose money. There's no doubt about it. If you mess up your launch, I'd almost 100% guarantee you will lose money on your first shipment, which you might do anyway. There's nothing bad with that. But if you fail your launch, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't learn PPC, which I'm going to try and not mess this up too much into one video, guys, because I want to break this up into a few different videos to really break it down. But if you don't know what you're doing in this phase, it's going to go so badly for you. So I just want to go break down in this video kind of a scenario here of what happens most of the time. So let's just say we're doing our product research. We find a product, as many of us do, £22 retail price, the sales per month of 220, 110 reviews on average, and all the listings are alright, okay? So we think it's a good product, we'll go ahead and order, and we'll carry on through the scenario to see where it gets us. So we make our order of around 300 units, and what you should always understand about these scenarios, guys, is that I can make these scenarios look as terrible as possible. I can say that this cost per unit is going to be £10 and make it look terrible, but I make them so that they're almost unachievable. You're not very often going to find something that sells for £22 and you can buy on Alibaba for £3 or less. So I almost make these as good as possible, and yet they still fail, just to show you guys how easy it is to mess this up, why you really need to know what you're doing. So we buy the unit for £3. We have all the measurements here. I'm sure you're all familiar with how this works. We have a total cost per unit of £5.22. Very reasonable, and the landed cost, guys, is the cost that it takes to get that product from the factory in China to Amazon. So this doesn't include the FBA fee and things like that, because it's not involved in the cost to do all the shipping and get it from the supplier to Amazon. So we don't include that in the landed cost. So coming down, we get the FBA fee. It's £7, add the VAT on £8.40, okay? And I'm just not going to even add the PPC costs and the VAT of the PPC costs into this measurement here, guys, as like I said again, to make it seem even more appealing. So our margin is 38% profit for this unit in total, taking into account all of our costs, okay? But this means absolutely just complete jack shit if we're not on that first page. This number here and our product research, everything we've done to find our product. If I was going to sell this pen, my entire basis, just every single decision I've based on choosing this pen to sell has been on the first page of results, okay? So I had a coaching call with a guy the other day, or maybe yesterday or the day before. Amazing guy in the military, so just a really amazing guy, really good call. And he was selling a product. He was selling it for over a year now. And we basically established he's been losing money throughout that entire year because A, we decided he didn't choose the right product. If you don't choose the right product, there's nothing you can really do to get around that. But most people will probably choose the right product, or at least choose a product that will go all right, even if it's not the best product. Your first product normally isn't your best, but we decided he chose the wrong product, but even more than that, he never launched his product, okay? So like I was saying, if I'm going to sell this pen, everything, just every decision I make to decide this is a good choice is going to be on a product research software, okay? When we do our product research, do you think, right, I found my product, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to page 20 and then I'm going to run the Jungle Scout results or the Helium 10 results. You don't do that, okay? You run your results on the first page of Amazon, okay? So these 220 sales are on the first page. These 110 reviews are on the first page, okay? The listings we're looking at, the competition, everything we look at is on the first page, okay? Your margins and all the sales you expect you're going to get, you don't order these 300 units thinking, do you know what? On page 15, I'm going to sell these 300 units. You anticipate everything on being on the first page, okay? So if all of your decisions are based on being on page 1 and you don't launch your product to page 1, just let me answer a simple question. How often do you scroll to the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 10th, 20th page of Amazon before making a purchase? Or do you normally find your product on the first, well, probably the first, top of the first, maybe the middle of the first page, okay? How often do you do that? There's a common saying that someone actually mentioned to me in the group the other day about the best place to hide a dead body is on page 2. Because people just never scroll to the next page. You normally find the product you're looking for right then and there. So if we don't get to this first page, then all of our estimations, all of our product research, just everything we've done means absolutely nothing because we're not on the page that we've based all of these results on. So let's just say that you don't get to page 1, okay? Why is that such a bad thing? Why do we need to launch our products to get to page 1? Well, it's exactly like I said. How often do you get to the second page? Why would you hide a dead body on the second page? Because if you're not on page 1, you're not getting sales, okay? You might get the odd sale or 2 every single week. You might get very, very lucky and somehow pull in those extra few without PPC and things like that, but that's not a business. It's maybe 40, 50 quid a week. That's not what we got into this for. It's hardly anything. If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine, but I'm sure it's not what most of us want from our Amazon businesses. So just to be completely blunt here, guys, which I hope this video is, to really get the point across, if you don't get to page 1, you're basically fucked, okay? You're not, all of your anticipations, all of your sales you want to get, all of these numbers, they don't really mean anything because you're not going to experience a 38% profit margin, because if you're not getting any sales, okay, you're not on page 1, what you might do is you might use PPC. I'm going to break this down in a lot of future videos, so I'll try not to go too in-depth in this one, but you're going to use PPC. What's going to happen, honestly, guys, this bit really makes me laugh. I find it absolutely hilarious people do this. You say, I'm going to start an automatic campaign, I'm going to move those keywords into the manual campaign, and then I'm just going to keep doing that, okay? I'm going to find my keywords, move in here, perfect, okay? Right, that is fantasy. That is just the funniest, myth about Amazon, and just probably the funniest myth about Amazon there is, okay? What's in reality is going to happen is you're going to turn on your automatic PPC campaign, okay? Straight away off the bat, you're probably going to get maybe 100% ACOS, okay? Which means that not only are you not going to be getting 38% margin, you're probably actually going to be getting a minus 38% margin every single one you sell. If you're lucky, it might probably be higher than this, okay? So you're going to be losing money on every single sale. And this is going to continue to happen and happen and happen for maybe a month or two until you can really refine and really get down these keywords and optimize it, okay? What do you do if you don't know how to optimize? Do you know how to whittle down the keywords? Do you know why that a keyword of 100% ACOS is actually a good one and how to get that to a 5% ACOS? If you don't know these things, you're losing money on every single sale. You might get 2 or 3 organic ones per week, so you're making, what's that, 45, 40, 46 quid every single week. Every other sale is coming through PPC, which is losing you money on every single one. So if you don't get to page 1, if you don't launch your product, then all of this is fantasy. It's just completely and utterly ridiculous to think that you're going to get a 38% margin if you don't launch your product to page 1, if you don't understand PPC, if you don't know how you're going to do all of these things. This is a future video, but I was touching on it slightly now, that people think that product research is the hardest part. Amazon is so tiny in the UK now, and there's millions and millions of products. Do you think it's just a coincidence that everyone teaching Amazon on YouTube and all the people who are very, very big sellers on Amazon, do you ever hear any of them saying, oh, I can't find a product, I'm really struggling with product research? Do you hear that fucking ever? I very, very much doubt it. My problem is I've got 5 or 6 products I want to launch, but I just simply don't have the cash flow to do it. There is not a lack of products here, guys. It's not completely saturated, we can't do it. Amazon in the UK it's a baby. It's I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's almost premature, if that's a good word to use. There's just so many products, so the customers can't even keep up with making a demand for all these products good enough for us to launch them. So it's not the fact that it's product research is hard, it's just the fact that you're not maybe doing it right, you're not implementing a few of the tactics that other people are implementing. So this is why you never hear these people at the very top saying, I can't do product research. What most people struggle with and what most people find the hardest is PPC. That is the hardest part of selling on Amazon. I'm going to get into that more in future videos, as I've said, but that's the thing that's hard. Because if you don't find a product, then that's fine, you don't start, or you wait a couple of months, there's always time to do that. If you don't launch your product, you're losing money. If you don't know how to use PPC, you're losing money. So it's a very serious topic, guys. I'm going to get into this in future videos about how to launch it, why it's so important, some top tips, and I'm going to bring out a free ebook. I've just done the PPC section for that ebook, and it's about 25 pages just on the PPC. So it's going to be extremely in depth to try and prevent people from making these kind of mistakes. But I hope you can see what I'm talking about here, guys, that you need to launch your products. You need to learn how to do this. Watching a 20-minute video about PPC on YouTube, it's not going to cut it. It really isn't. I don't know if you're in the group, my Facebook group, just reached 6,000 members, so the biggest FBA group in the UK now. So very happy with that. But posting a lot of daily posts in there, like really long like paragraphs and things like that about different sections of Amazon FBA. Always having discussions about that in the group and saying that it's just hilarious how much this topic isn't talked about and how important it is. And I'm not just talking about, I mentioned YouTube videos, guys. I'm not just talking about YouTube videos. This stands for courses as well. I implore all of you to go out and check every single UK course as soon as you finish this video and go to their PPC section. Is it 2, 3, 4 videos, 5 videos, maybe 30 minutes long? It's just ridiculous, guys. This is the hardest section on Amazon. There's hours and hours of content about managing your PPC, optimizing it, moving the keywords around, doing all these types of things that if you don't do it correctly, you're going to be losing money on every single sale. You're not going to get to that first page. You're not going to experience any profit at all. You're going to be losing money. So I think that's about it for this video, guys. I could rant on for ages about this and how important it is, but I think I've got the point across now about how important it is to actually launch your product. I've got a video about the ways you can launch your product if you want to go back and check that one out. But in the future videos, we're going to be going over PPC, some more in-depth stuff, and that ebook will be coming out, and it will be completely free for everyone for a short period of time because, as I said, it's 25 pages for the PPC section. It won't be free for very long. I'm giving away a lot of my secrets and things I don't normally share on YouTube and just in the course in that ebook. So I'll let make everyone aware even of when that's out, and make sure you all have an opportunity to get it for free before it becomes some sort of price. Probably very cheap anyway. I still don't really want to charge much for it. I just want serious people to understand the value. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope you haven't been too annoyed with the rant. But I just hope you understand the point I'm trying to put across. So if you've enjoyed it, guys, subscribe down below. The future videos are going to be more important, as I said before, multiple times now. Turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss out on those. And comment below what you think of this video. Do you prefer it when we go on kind of a rant and just go on a tangent? And if you think it's more important to come across kind of this, I don't know, just in this way. A lot of people try and sugarcoat it, but I just think giving it as blunt as you possibly can actually does some people some good in not making it seem like a fairy tale. So let me down below, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Myself.